I'm Megan. Thank you for joining me and the lower extremities of Mr. Bones. This is a very specific practice for my son Donal, who broke his little toe. He's finally, fortunately, at the point where he can start to move it again. There's not so much pain because there's not a lot you do with broken toes, specifically little toes, other than they say whatever doesn't cause pain. But there really are things we can do, and this practice isn't just for broken toes. It's if you have any fascia issues, such as plantar fasciitis, or if you have nerve issues. You've got a lot of nerves coming down here, so any sort of neuropathy, keeping the feet moving as those feelers for the spine. And before we get started, I'm just going to creep in and give you a short little anatomy look. So the foot has 26 bones, the foot and ankle, and 33 different joints. So there's a lot that can go wrong there, unfortunately. Lots of complex tissues as well. There's over 100 muscles, ligaments, tendons that go into the foot. So even something like my son's, as small as he had his little toe here, the phalanges that were crushed, that completely changes our gait, right? Because we can't put pressure on it. So if you're not ready to put pressure on your foot, then I'm going to ask you to do this first part sitting in a chair if we don't want to be weight bearing. Otherwise, you can do it standing. You're going to need a few balls. I have two different sizes of wool dryer balls, which I find are fantastic. I also have a soft rubber ball. If you want something harder, go with the tennis ball. We're going to start with just our left foot, and you're going to take the ball and put it underneath the arch of the foot. We'll start with the arch. And without rolling it, just let the weight of the leg fall in. So if you're standing up, you're going to know right away. If you can't just let the weight of the leg fall into the ball without your foot tightening, then you need to sit down. But let it hang for a moment. Just familiarize your space of this foot. And then slowly start to roll it around. Just feeling. You're just kind of feeling this part that's furthest from our brain. And you can roll it, and as you're rolling it, try to keep the muscles relaxed. So if you find your toes are flying up in the air, that means you're tightening the muscles, especially the muscles in the sole of the foot. Just rolling it around. And you can go to the heel and maybe push down on the heel a few times, keeping the toes soft and relaxed. Notice the muscles in your calf and your ankle as you do that. And if that ball is not working, feel free to switch balls. So this is all sensory information, just feeling that. And if you do have one foot you need to work with, you can double up. You don't have to do both feet in this video. I'm going to do both, but just do one foot the whole time. And then also go to the front of the foot and roll around on the ball mount and across those metatarsals. So our foot's divided into three pieces. We have the ankle in the back, the center of the foot where we find most of the fascial tissue that supports the arch, and then the front of the foot, all those little bones in the toes. So the metatarsals are part of the center of the foot. Just roll around. So you're either doing this standing to get more of a push feel, or you can do it seated just to get the sense of feeling your skin on the ball. And then go all the way to the toes and put the ball, so as if you were wrapping your toes around the ball, like we're getting a pedicure. Wrap your toes around the ball. Make sure that feels okay. If not, then just set them on it. And gently rock from big toe to little toe side of the foot. So this one, you're really going to start to feel the ankle too. So you're squeezing the ball, and you can squeeze and release the ball too without the movement. Just squeeze and release the ball with the toes, almost like you're trying to pick it up. Just starting to introduce your foot to some movement. All right, and then take that ball out for a moment. Take that second of magic. Take both feet down to the ground, whether you're seated or standing. Close your eyes for 3 breaths and feel your 2 feet. And can you sense any difference? Is one more apparent to you? Does it feel lighter or heavier? Can you sense any different experience in your 2 feet just from that simple touch of a ball to your skin on the bottom of your foot? And then let's do the other one, or like I said, if you just want to work with your grumpy one today, do it again. So start from the middle. You might try a different ball the second time if you're doing that. let the weight of the leg fall into the ball first. So before you start moving, make sure that you can feel like the bones of your thigh, your shin are just falling with gravity into that ball. Take a few breaths there. And then once you got that and you know you're relaxed, the muscles in the foot aren't tensing, just roll around in that center area first, right in the fascial tissue, keeping the muscles relaxed. Watch that those toes don't fly up. And you can see this is a really simple thing. If you're sitting at a desk or wherever you're sitting, you can pull your shoes off, hide under the desk and do this. And then go back to the heel if you haven't already. And I like to relax the toes to the ground and push down on the heel and release. And see how far up the leg line you can even feel that. You feel those muscles activating in your calf, maybe even in your thigh, your hip, particularly if you're standing. So push it down and then just sort of ride it up. Like the buoyancy, especially if you're standing, you'll feel that buoyancy of the heel just lifting back up. And push it down. Nice big calcaneus, that heel bone. And then you can go more to the front. So the front of the middle third, which is in those phalanges themselves, and roll around in circles or side to side. It's just an exploration. Anytime you can close your eyes so you're feeling instead of looking down. It's really interesting to look at our foot, right? But try to feel it from your brain. Keep those toes relaxed. And then if it's okay for you today, go ahead and wrap your toes around the ball as much as you can. Depends on which toe is bothering you. And you can either do a little side to side movement, so it's sort of dipping. And you'll notice in the chair too, I'm trying not to move my hip so much. That would be moving from my hip. I'm going to keep my thigh still and move more from slipping out here, moving for more from my ankle. So keeping the thigh a little bit stiller. So this is inversion and eversion of the ankle. Big toe side and arch goes towards the ground, and then little toe side. You might feel that outer calf and inner calf. If that's not right, just kind of gently grip the ball, squeeze and release a few times too. Squeeze the ball with the toes and release it. All right, we're gonna stop with the ball. That's, like I said, a very simple thing you can do anytime. We're gonna go down onto the floor and do some movement and nerve flossing. So get yourself comfortable and I'll see you there. So you found your way down onto the ground. Maybe just shift a little bit. You can even do this part in bed in the morning. You know, you don't have to do this whole practice at once, but let yourself settle into the ground. Feel your legs, your feet. Maybe notice does one foot turn out more than the other. And then you're going to slide both legs in so the soles of the feet are on the floor, knees are bent. We'll start with the left leg again. You're going to bring your left leg into your body, and what we're going to do is we're going to come into full flexion. So the thigh bone will come towards you. You'll also draw the top of the foot towards your shin. So that is dorsiflexion. So draw everything in as tight as you can. And as you're doing that, bring your chin away from your chest. Just notice what that feels like. And then you're going to begin to slowly extend that leg all the way out and go into full extension, meaning point your toe. Reach, you can even reach the tips of the toes or the ball mount of the foot away from you. Imagine lengthening through the thigh bone in the front of the hip crease. And as you do that, start to let the chin come towards your chest. So it's as if your gaze is trying to follow your toes. And then you're going to pull that leg back again into full flexion. So top of the foot towards the shin, draw it in. Let your gaze go away from the foot. So what we're doing here is a nerve flossing. Full extension, chin towards the chest. And then drawing all the way back. Drawing the chin away from the chest as your thigh comes close. Keep your arms relaxed. If you feel better extending the right leg to stretch the top of the thigh as you do this, you're welcome to. It'll just give more of a stretch to the low back. So we go into full extension, Let the weight of the leg rest with gravity, but reach, take a few breaths, and then full flexion. Even the toes, think of the tops of the toes drawing towards your shin. I like to spread my toes in the flexion part too, and I like to squeeze my toes together on the extension part. And think of like there's a cord from your nose to your toes, and that cord is gently sliding back and forth. So it slides towards your toes when you're extending, and then that cord sliding towards your nose as you flex. Just a gentle tug on all the nerves. Take a couple more. And then we'll stop. Let the foot rest just for a moment. We're going to do another one with the left leg. This time I'll give you the option, if you're still in a lot of discomfort, you may want to just leave your leg long. But to get more bang for your buck, what you can do is take the leg up, bring the thigh parallel to the spine, and you can either support the back of your thigh with your hands, or if you want to use a strap, feel free to do that. I usually just keep them down here. And you're going to extend the leg up, maybe take a few knee bends first if you're doing that. And if you want to do the leg down here, you can still do the knee bends with us. So going into full extension of the leg, either overhead or resting on the ground, see what you need. And then next time you're in full extension, we're going to take the foot into the plantar flexion, or the pointing of the toes. So reach the toes up towards the sky and keep it there, and see if you can gently move your toes just a little bit. You might even imagine playing them like piano keys. You can put the big toe down first, then the second, third, fourth. So you can move them all together or one at a time. And we can't really move all the little toes one at a time, but imagine them moving one at a time. And we're holding the ankle in that pointed position, that plantar flexion. See how that feels? Again, you may be doing it down here with the leg relaxed. So this is more supportive, gravity supporting your leg. And then next we'll switch the position of the ankle, take it into dorsiflexion, draw the top of the foot towards the shin. Imagine like you're pushing your heel up towards the sky or forward. Hold the ankle in that position. And again, just play with moving your toes. There doesn't have to be a rhyme or rhythm. You're just getting to all of those muscles in the foot. Moving your toes, wiggling, squeezing together, pulling apart. Anything that feels interesting to you without pain. Holding that line on the ankle. And you can relax it for a moment, particularly if it's up overhead. We've got another one we're going to do, which is that inversion and eversion. So this again can be done with leg resting on the ground. Maybe you want to start it there, or it can be done overhead. So inversion, eversion, think of or even look up at the big toe side of your foot, which is the arch of the foot, right? And draw that side of the foot towards your navel center, towards your sit bones. And then release it. Then think of the pinky toe side, the outer edge of your foot and ankle, and draw that towards your outer calf or your outer hip. So we invert the foot and release and evert. And we're getting all of these, like you get into your peroneal nerve out here. Just go really slow back and forth. You may find, just like in the last exercise, you want to play with, is the foot just completely relaxed? Do you do more of a pointed toe in this one? Do you do more of a flexed foot? So the foot has to move in so many different directions, all these combinations of bones and muscles and joints. And you're exploring all of those relationships, the ways you can move it. And once you've done a couple of these, go ahead and take the ankle in circles. So again, if your leg's tired, or if you're just not feeling it up in this position of extension overhead, just keep the leg line relaxed on the ground in full circles. Something I watch for when I'm doing the ankle, especially if I work with somebody, say, with neuropathy, is a lot of times we think we're moving the ankle, but what's really happening again is the hip is what's making the movement. It's rocking back and forth. So you want to try to keep your thigh still. You can even put your hands on your thigh. Truly make it an exploration of finding your full range of motion in your ankle now, going all the way around, and you can go both directions. And you can bend that knee. Just draw the leg in for a moment, even if you've got it extended. Maybe just wiggle your toes, softly move your foot, extend both legs out. And pause there for a moment. Take that magic moment once again to feel yourself. So let your brain connect to your nervous system. Feel the two legs. Maybe now it's not just the feet like it was with the ball work, but do your legs feel different? Do your hips feel different? Stay present in your body, just sensing. Notice your breath and check in with your upper body. Is there anything you're tensing or tightening? Sometimes that tension wants to move upward in our body, so you can relax your shoulders, your head, and your neck. So we're going to do that nerve flossing movement and the ankle and toe movements on the other side, the right leg, unless, of course, you want to repeat it on your grumpy side. You're welcome to do that. So we'll slide both heels in, feet on the ground for a moment. Just notice what it feels like to be present in your right foot and leg. Sense your toes. Can you feel all 5 of your toes? And then you're going to begin to draw the right thigh bone towards your ribs. So we're going into full flexion. And as you do so, keep the ankle active too. So draw the top of the foot towards your shin. You can even draw the tops of the toes towards your shin. Really hug it in as tight as you can. And as you do that, let your chin come slightly away from the knee. So it's like that cord is pushing your chin back, or there's a sliding going on. As you begin to extend the leg, also extend the ankle. Reach as far as you can with that right ankle. Reach the tips of the toes forward and bring your chin towards your chest. If it's not happening naturally, take your time and think about it like your nose is following your toes. And then coming back into that full flexion, the toes follow the nose. So, what we're doing here is we're moving the nerves. Think of the nerves that go all the way from your brain down your neck, through your spine, and all the way to the toes. You're just giving them a gentle little tug here, back and forth. And for me, it really does help to put this at the nervous system level, to visualize those nerves running all the way down the spine. And back and forth, full extension and full flexion. A few more of those. And this beautiful sunshine. And then if you're going to let the right leg rest on the next one, just let it come down to the ground. Remember, the option is also there to let the left leg extend if you want to stretch the front of the hip. Otherwise, if you'd like to do the overhead line and just there's a little, a bit more sensation when we do it this way, or maybe more than a bit. You're going to bring your thigh bone parallel to the spine. So we don't want to be back here. We want the knee right over the front of the hip joint. And then take your leg up. Even if you're keeping it low, you might do a couple knee bends just right here, or you can take it up overhead. Because just bending in and out of the knee, you're going to feel that all the way into your foot. All of those joints are connected, right? When we have a foot problem, it's going to travel up the body. So we want to keep everything moving. And then you're deciding, do you want to keep that leg relaxed and supported by the ground? Or you can keep it here, hands behind your thigh, a strap if you'd like. I like to just rest my arms. And find that full extension through the leg. Find the full extension in the ankle. So reach the toes towards the sky. So we're in that plantar flexion. Keep that ankle position and see if you can just move your toes. You can just wiggle them. You can spread them and squeeze them. You might play them like keys, one down at a time. And sometimes the little toes, especially if you do have any broken toes, the little ones don't like to move so much on their own. They're sort of a 4-pack. The big toe has a lot more play. It's a saddle joint, so you can even let that go in circles, perhaps, unless that's your broken toe. But we're keeping that ankle in that plantar flexion as we move the toes. Explore all those muscles. Notice how the muscles in the sole of the foot are tightening up and the top of the foot is stretching. Your calf is tightening. The shin muscles are stretching. And then let that go. If you want to come all the way down between, let it come down, or you might already be here. And we'll switch the position. Draw the top of the foot towards the shin, so coming into the dorsiflexion. And now in that ankle position, again, just play with the toes. I try to close my eyes because, where we might think it's interesting to watch them, when we close our eyes, we're feeling it more from the nervous system as opposed to just watching it with the eyes. So close your eyes and go into your felt sense. You can squeeze and release, play them, and now sense how the sole of your foot is stretching. Top of the foot is tightening. You're feeling that tightness through your shin, perhaps. The back of the calf is stretching. The Achilles tendon is stretching. And you're just playing with moving your toes. Relax it for a moment. Let it come back to that state of grace. And then we're going to do that invert and evert of the ankle. So you can be down here. I'll show it down here this time. Or you can keep the leg up here. So visualize the big toe side of your foot and draw that big toe side, the arch of your foot, towards your inner calf or towards your sit bones. As far as you can go, sense how the outer calf is stretching, inner calf tightening, and release that. Then pinky toe, visualize it first, that whole side from pinky toe to the heel. Draw that towards your outer calf and release. And something I try to be cautious of is that I'm not doing this movement from my hip, keeping the hip still. So if we're overhead, think of really initiating this movement from the foot and the ankle. All of those bones and muscles and joints in the foot and the ankle. The rest of the leg can feel it. It'll respond with sensation, but you're initiating from the ankle. Then once you've done that, just start to make some full, slow circles all the way around. Notice the coordination of muscles in the lower leg, through the foot itself. So the definition of a joint to me is just that it joins two parts of the body. So you can fully understand, you might be down here, that joining of the foot to the rest of the leg as you do this. And focus on those toes. So you're moving from the ankle, and as much as you're ready to, let your toes lead too. See if you can make these ankle circles as if your toes are leading around. You can switch the direction. So do you have a different felt sense if you're moving from your ankle, taking circles, versus moving from the toes? Or even try to move from the arch of the foot versus the pinky toe side or the heel. We can initiate from all these different places on the foot. All right, and then relax that, draw that leg back in, give it a little hug, say thank you. Take the right leg out and the left leg if it's bent, and just take a moment to be present in the space of your legs, going all the way down into the toes. If you can, pick your favorite color for today. Mine's going to be the blue sky, but your favorite color. Take a few breaths, breathe in, and as you breathe out, imagine sending that color, hopefully it's a healing vibration, right into your toes. Like you can breathe right out the ends of your toes. Take a full breath in and breathe out to the toes. And imagine that color, maybe the color has a temperature associated with it. You can breathe right into your toes. Blue is cool. If you need some coolness, red would be warming. And say thank you to your toes. Just give them a few little wiggles. Playfully move your ankles, your fingers. Head and neck can go side to side. Thanks for joining me for this toe practice. Peace, joy, love, and light.